Inifresi. Gina ni mastakelum gihina zoku. Ni mastakelum gi corações.
Zani masfigu na ninasinyahu. Ua firsa maisadzu para butehi. Zan udifendi ihanyangi.
Iko tura ilenguahi.
Iari ihanum zanitanu chamorro. Ni inichoku diretsu generanzo estata.
Esti ua fitma gehelo e biblia.
Zani venerahu I banderan guahan.
Buenas and Hafaday, Tauta Guahan Zan Saipan. Guahu si Tiffany Kirigua. Hello, people of Guam and Saipan. I am Tiffany Kirigua, your host for this third season of Hestorian Isla'ta. This is our last episode for this 2017 Mes Tamoru season. Here is what we've got lined up for you in this episode. Guampedia.com will share more information on where the first shot of World War I was fired. Also, Polly Eric Forbes will continue his tribute to the International Year of Nature with our tanu, or land. Then, as we normally do, we will indulge in some karanpika manuk, or spicy chicken stew. To close out the season, Inatnum Gefpagu will perform for us. All this when we return. Welcome back to Hestorian Isla'ta. Rita Nauta of Guampedia.com is about to let us in on where the first shot in World War I went off.
Half a Day from Guampedia.com, a community project that highlights the unique history of Guam and Chamorro heritage of the Marianas. Throughout our rich history, Guam is known for being first. More than 3,500 years ago, our ancestors that settled Guam and the Marianas were one of the first in the history of mankind to make an open ocean voyage. Guam was also the first Spanish colony and Catholic mission among the Pacific Islands. Another amazing but little known fact is that exactly 100 years ago, the first U.S. shot in World War I was made right here on Guam. In 1917, the U.S. declared war on Germany. A German cruiser, the SMS Cormorant II, was docked at Apra Harbor, having been there since 1914 without enough coal to sail another port. Guam's naval governor at the time, William Maxwell, refused to supply the German ship due to strained diplomatic relations between the U.S. and Germany, and the limited amount of coal stored in Guam. For about 3 years, the crew of more than 350, including Germans, Chinese, and Papua New Guineans, made themselves at home in Guam. However, when the U.S. declared war on Germany, the small naval force on Guam attempted to seize the German vessel. The Cormorant's skipper refused to surrender the ship, maintaining that he and his crew were willing to surrender, but not the ship. U.S. sailors noticed that the German crew was preparing to sink the ship and fired a shot over the bow of the Cormorant. This shot is often cited as the first shot fired by the U.S. military in World War I. The 7 crew members that died from the explosion were buried at the Agana Naval Cemetery in East Hagåtña. 100 years later, the ship can still be found at the bottom of Apra Harbor. Learn more amazing facts about our island history at Guampedia.com. You can also pick up a copy of Guampedia's 101 Amazing Facts About Guam at UOG's Triton Bookstore, Tse'lu or Iputian in the Chamorro Village, and the Guam Museum Gift Shop. Biba Guahan, Biba Chamorro, Sizuis Maasi.
Undunkalu Nasizuas Maasi to the great people behind Guampedia.com for their continued support and contribution to this annual Mes Tamoru television series. Check them out for more great facts on Guam and her people. Moving forward, let's listen in to Polly Eric Forbes as he explains the Tamoru word for land and its importance in our environment.
Buenas Afañelos, Guajo si Polly Eric. This year, 2017, is the International Year of Reconnecting with Nature. So let's learn the Chamorro words for 4 very basic components of the environment around us. Today, let's learn the Chamorro word for land, tanu. Our ancestors came to a varied and beautiful tanu, the flat limestone plateau in the north, which percolates rain water and fills a huge underground lake, whose water we use to this very day, the red soil of the volcanic south with its hills which were formed by a volcanic eruption thousands of years ago. Our tanu provided everything needed for our people besides what they got from the sea. From one tree alone, the coconut, our ancestors were able to fashion all kinds of tools and artifacts besides obtaining nutrition from the fruit. Our people lacked nothing from the jungle, the valley, and the river, and the rocks from our tanu provided what they needed to build the latte stone. But speaking of the coconut tree, we are all aware that an invasive and foreign species of beetle has nearly decimated our coconut trees on island. We have already lost a number of native bird species due to the brown tree snake. Our soil has been and continues to be at risk of dangerous pollution, endangering our fresh water supply in that underground lake. Plans for greater commercial and military use of our tanu means the continued deforestation of our tanu, besides the disturbance of historical and cultural treasures. Our interaction is mainly with the tanu, far more than with any other aspect of our environment. Let us study the environmental issues concerning our tanu and respond with concrete action on our part to maintain its health and its abundance.
Another great big Sinamaasi to Polly Eric Forbes for his continued contribution to Hestorian Isla'ta. We look forward to more next year. Stay right there. When we return, the official keeper of the Guam seal will share with us his future hopes for the Guam seal and the Guam flag. But first, can you answer this question? Who is the designated keeper of the Guam seal? Is it A, the Speaker of the Guam Legislature, B, Guam's congressional delegate, or C, the Lieutenant Governor of Guam? The answer when we return. Did you figure it out? Who is the official keeper of the Guam seal? Is it A, the Speaker of the Guam Legislature, B, Guam's congressional delegate, or C, the Lieutenant Governor of Guam? The answer is C, the Lieutenant Governor of Guam. According to the Organic Act of Guam, the Lieutenant Governor of Guam shall have custody of the Great Seal of the territory of Guam. Thus, the Lieutenant Governor is the official keeper of the seal. So let's sit with the official keeper, Lieutenant Governor of Guam, Ray Tenorio, as he shares his vision of the future for the Guam seal and the Guam flag. Sizus Masi for joining us on this last episode, Lieutenant Governor.
Agumas.
I understand you are the keeper of the Guam seal. So do tell me about the job description. Why do we need a keeper of the seal?
Keeper of the seal is sort of like keeper of a stamp. It's like a thumbprint. It's the official expression that a document that was officially adopted by the government of Guam, by the executive branch, has been sealed, or ultimately it's been completed. Because you can get the signature of the governor or any other official, but the governor usually has a Guam seal, which is kept by me. The Guam seal is also kept by me in terms of who uses it and what capacities. We want to make sure that any use of the Guam seal or any representation of that is in the best interest of the people of Guam and holds us to the highest standards. We have to be careful about what people like it. One time, a good friend and a businessman here on Guam actually made a Guam seal that essentially looked like a marijuana leaf, and it's still illegal, so we're not going to do that. I think there has to be a certain amount of respect that's given to the seal, and people get creative all day long, but you have to do it in using official documents and using the seal in promoting your product. We want to make sure that it's done in a way which is consistent with our laws and the values that create our laws in the first place.
Okay. So looking forward, as the keeper of the Guam seal, how would you like to see that used by our people to drive us forward? What applications would you like to see the seal in more?
I see like sports athletes that are out there, like John Tuck or Baby Joe Timinglow, or guys who are representing one sport or another, be baseball or football or any kind of rugby, soccer, anyone that's going to represent Guam, of course, use that seal, use the flag. I go to the States, as we all do, from place to place or other countries, and we see that people will put out the flag of their country. And you know, Guam, as much as we're a territory, just like other places across the States, they'll have their U.S. flag on their porch or in their home somewhere. I'd like to see more of that. I hope that people will take the Guam seal and the Guam flag and put it on bus stops like we've done, or make it part of something that really kind of brings out that, conjures a sense of pride and love and passion, dedication to the island. Because by doing this, you know, we're not just representing ourselves, we're representing our past, we're representing to our children to be proud of who you are, where you came from, and to be proud of the past, the lineage that we have is an important thing going forward, because we identify very well from the things that are our past, and we want to use these things as an inspiration for the future.
All right. Si Diyos Masi for taking your time to sit with us and for all the great information, Lieutenant Governor.
Thanks for the opportunity. It's been a great time. Si Diyos Masi.
Welcome back to Hestorian Isla'ta. Let's move on to everyone's favorite, food. Keeping with our Tessa theme, or appetizer, here is Alicia Tovis Cali of Cali Cafe preparing Katanpika, or spicy chicken stew.
Hafa Guam, my name is Alicia and welcome to Cali Cafe. Today I'm going to teach you my version of the Katanpika. So what you would need is chicken, and it really depends on you. What I like to do is, I know all the stores have these chicken leg quarters, and a lot of times we don't use the thigh backs. So when we cut that off, I usually just save it and make it into Katanpika for the family, and it's the best way to not throw things out. In my Katanpika, I like to use onions, celery, fresh garlic, and I know a lot of people don't care for bell pepper, but I really think bell pepper has a good taste that goes with your Katanpika. So I just say chop it finely, and by the time your soup is done, you won't even know it's there. And then of course fresh peppers, and I have house spice. So growing up, I know in our kitchen we used to gisa all of our things that we throw in with oil, but because chicken has a lot of natural oils and waters, I choose not to. So I just drain my chicken to make sure all water is out because of the excess water that chicken carries. Put them into my pot, and then I throw in everything else with it. So you throw in your celery, garlic, your bell pepper, onion, and of course your fresh pepper. So let me cut this up, and it's really up to you how hot you want it, but with Katanpika, I think the hotter the better. Okay, so I throw this onto the stove, and I also add house spice, basil, onion powder, garlic powder, black pepper, soy sauce, and I like to use apple cider vinegar. It gives it a kick to the Katanpika. And at the end, if you like your Katanpika to be a little sour, I also add fresh lemon, local lemon, or calamansi. So apple cider. Now we just throw this onto the stove. And while your stove is heating up, it's good to try to mix all these things in together so the flavors can be spread out evenly with all the things that you put in there. So I don't usually add water because of the natural waters that chicken holds, but there's some times where your heat is so high that it dries out all of the liquid in there. If it does end up drying out, then just add a little bit of water just so it won't burn. And so you just cook it on your stove for about maybe 15 to 20 minutes, depending on how well it is. But with the chicken cut up like this, I think it will cook much faster. And then after it cooks, of course, It'll end up looking like this. So at the end of the cooking process, what I like to do is add the calamansi at the end, because when you have it in there for too long, it tends to lose its flavor. So I add it at the end, and you will definitely receive the calamansi flavor. Thank you for joining us. I'm Alicia. Have a great day.
Thank you to Alicia for sharing her talents with us this year on Hestorian Isla'ta. When we come back, Inetnungef Pagu will perform a special number for us to close out our celebration of Mes Samoru 2017. For the final segment in this episode of Hestorian Isla'ta, let me introduce to you Vince Regis and his award-winning cultural dance group, Inetnungef Pagu.
Hafidi. The dance you're about to see is called the Lalai Magalahi Chaifi, which talks about a small insurgents on the island of Guam led by Chief Chaifi. It mostly talks about a brotherhood and a unity among these young men trying to perpetuate our culture. So, hope you enjoy.
Chaifi, Magalahita, Hakumbira para familia, Malago Gui Boss, Malago Hazapumunu, Ubunu Gui para Nengamizo, Una pa Baba Uno, Una pa Baba Toro, Tafangaluti, Tafamum, Zangi Mata, Mata Parota, Chaifi, Magalahita, Hakumbira para familia, Malago Gui Boss. Malago Hazapumunu, Ubunu Gui para Nengamizo, Una pa Baba Uno, Una pa Baba Toro, Tafangaluti, Tafamum, Zangi Mata, Mata Parota.
Undunkalu Nasidzuis Masi for watching Hestorian Isla'ta 2017. Remember, every March is Tomorrow Month, but we don't have to wait until March to celebrate our Tomorrow history, culture, language, and people. Viva Tomorrow! Viva Mes Tomorrow!